Do you ever find when you're creating a card, it doesn't always come to plan and comes the way you think it's going to be? Well, in today's video, I'm showing you how this card turned out. That it didn't turn out the way it's supposed to, and I created 2 cards instead of just the one. I'm Verity and welcome to my channel Pretty Little Button. I make paper crafting tutorials for the everyday crafter. This video is part of a blog hop to celebrate Altenew's 7th year anniversary birthday hop. I will give some more details of this hop later on in the video, but there are a variety of sponsors that are donating prizes, so do check it out. I'm starting off with the Altenew's For Love of Stripes Set D paper pad. I really love this set of paper pad. It's just been released. It's got some gorgeous colours and I really loved the blues. And I wanted to pair it with some sort of more interesting colours that sort of clashed a little bit with it. Aren't necessarily the normal colours you'd pair with it. So I went for like a yellow and a pink. Now both of those go beautifully with blues, but as a combination it's not the one you normally go for. So I was kind of challenging myself when I first of all started making these cards. I then decided I wanted to also use the terrific stamp set from Altenew, which again has just been released, because if you know me, I absolutely love my cup of teas. I have tea all the time. So I decided I wanted to heat emboss these onto the coloured cardstock in white embossing powder because I really wanted that pop of colour contrasting with the white. I stamped the teapot in embossing ink, and then the stamp set comes with loads of little decorative stamps that you can stamp within the teapot itself or the cups. So I'm just adding one of those over the top. And for the teacup, I stamped this onto the pink cardstock. And you can stamp the handle on either side depending on which side you want the handle, and the saucer. It also comes with a little variety of different tea bags that you can stamp over the top of the rim, and again you can get some decorative items within the middle of the cup that you can stamp on as well. So I stamped all of these in the embossing ink and then I covered them with some superfine embossing powder from Wow. This will keep all that lovely detail, especially of the decorative elements in the stamps. Once they were heat set, I wanted to just add a little bit more interest to them so they weren't completely flat. So I'm just taking some Altenew inks. This is the yellows from the Sunshine in My Pocket inks, and I'm just using a blending tool just to blend a bit of ink along the bottom just to give it a little bit of shading, so it doesn't give you a completely flat teapot. I also did this with the cup as well, and I used, I think it was coral berry ink as well, that comes from the Red Cosmos ink set. Again, using a blending tool just to add a bit of shading really, so it's not, as I said, a completely flat cup. Now you can use coordinating dies to die cut these out or fussy cut them out. They're quite a simple shape as well to cut out if you don't have the coordinating dies. And then I started playing about with them on the pattern paper. When you come to looking at how you want to plan your card out, sometimes placing the items together with one another, sort of practicing a layout, allows you to work out whether it actually looks like it's working. I felt that the bold stripes with this teapot were quite bold, and it really just didn't feel like the teapot was very grounded within the paper. So I tried adding another bit of the pattern paper, the lighter piece, up above, and I still didn't think that looked quite right. Having heat embossed the sentiment, I thought maybe that would help to try and work out the design of the card. And I still wasn't quite sure on it. So I took away that lighter striped paper, realised I liked the white, but I wanted to add a little bit of colour and tie in the yellow. So I thought, I'll add some ink blending onto the card panel. So again, I'm using those yellows from the Sunshine Pockets. And then I added a bit of pink. This is baby pink, I believe, just to sort of add a bit more of an orange tone, because adding the pink over the yellow gives you that orange coral tone. Now I continued this on to really bring that colour up quite far, and I kept overlaying the pattern paper in the teapot to see how it was looking. And it did give a little bit more interest to the panel, having that yellow shading on the back. I then still wasn't quite sure about it, so I thought I'd add just a bit of striped paper at the top. Again, maybe see if that helps ground it. Still wasn't that convinced by it. I kept playing about. I felt like the teapot needed something to anchor it onto the design. But before I did that, I wanted to add a little bit more definition to the ink blending. So I smooshed some of the ink down onto an acrylic block, added some water to make it more of a liquid, and then I used a paintbrush to add some paint splatter of both those colours. So once that was dry, I had a bit more depth and dimension to the ink blending background. So as I said, I wanted to ground the teapot and I couldn't quite figure out how to. I went through my dies and I ended up with the mid-century die. And I was positioning this around and I thought, oh, it doesn't really ground it, it's not the right shape. But I did notice it almost looked like a sunrise with the mid-century die being the sun and over a sort of a sea. And I really liked how this looked. So I decided to skip the teapot on this card and go with the sort of sunset, sunrise over the sea kind of theme. And I stuck that down with some liquid adhesive. I then got a sentiment out from the new Altenew Folk Art Sentiment stamp set. They have got some lovely new sentiments in this stamp set, and again this is just being released. And I heat embossed this onto a white piece of cardstock, and then I foam mounted that onto the card. To add some more interest, I used some of the Glacier Cave enamel dots, just scattering them around the sentiment to lead the eye, and then later on you'll see in the finished photos I just used a black pen just to draw a few birds in the sky to look like they're flying from the horizon. And I just thought this was a really nice, peaceful, kind of calming card. So of course I don't want to waste those teapots, the teapot and the cup that I'd created, so I started playing around again with the pattern paper. I decided that the big bold stripes of blue, the dark blue, were too bold for that teapot, and instead used the thinner light blue stripes, but added just a little bit of that bold blue stripe down the middle horizontally, just to help anchor the teapot down. Once I was happy with the position, I then foam mounted them all on, adding the teapot as well as the cup and the sentiment. Just a little bit of information about the Altenew blog hop. So it is their 7th year anniversary, so congratulations to Altenew. If you are watching this over on my YouTube channel, do check out my blog where you'll find out details about the giveaway. Altenew are giving $70 gift certificates to 5 lucky winners and 1 Altenew Academy class to 15 lucky winners. There are also 19 awesome companies who are celebrating with them and offering a variety of prizes, which you can find out over on my blog. Make sure you leave a comment by the 18th of April for your chance to win one of those prizes, and they will list the winners over on their blog, Altenew Card blog. There's also a free US shipping with the code HAPPY7th, or $5 off international shopping with NAV21. The more you hop along, the more you comment, the more chance you have of winning. I hope you enjoyed today's blog hop. You see lots of inspiration, and there are a few more days of blog hops celebrating Altenew, so do keep your eyes peeled. For the teacup card, I also used the cherry blossom enamel dots just to finish them off. I wanted to keep this card as much as real time as possible to show you that sometimes your creative process can change when you're making cards. Don't worry, don't despair. You can carry on and find a card design that suits. If you're new to my channel, why not think about subscribing and hitting that bell icon to be notified when my next video is up. Let me know in the comments below which out of these 2 cards you prefer the most. I really loved that first card. It was completely different to what I was originally intending to set out, but I love its simplicity and bold design. Until next time, happy crafting!